Welcome back. We are speaking with Manish Kothari, founder and managing partner at First Spark Ventures. He's been talking about deep tech. He's been talking about synthetic data sets. I've learned more in the past 5 minutes, I think, than I've read in a long time. Manish, can I ask you? I know you focus on, you say, advanced computing, digital biology, biotech, and cyber physical systems. Cyber physical systems. What is that?
So cyber physical systems are physical systems that can scale with software. Typically you see physical systems being cars or something else. And cyber physical systems are more systems that you buy the hardware once and scale. So think of a lot of the applications with space. Space is a perfect example of a cyber physical system.
Okay. And I know another one you mentioned about digital biology and biotech. You were talking a bit about pediatrics and how data can help in that area as well. But what other things are you looking at?
Well, the ultimate holy grail there's two holy grails for medicine. One is detect the disease before it really impacts you, and the second is, can I personalize the medication as a result of it? What you're seeing right now is just the beginning of a profound shift in medicine, and the real shift is we're now able to predict clinical trials much better, so less of them are going to fail. Since less of them are going to fail, we're going to be able to get more drugs to the market for the same dollar value, which means now we can have a much greater degree of personalization on one side. On the other side, we're really being able to address the differences between your genetics, your proteomics, your interactome, and let's go all the way to your regulome that regulates your whole body. The combination of that combined with machine learning to be able to interpret these very vast data sets and changing data sets allows you to personalize. So on one hand, you're going to have a lot more drugs that are targeted. And on the other hand, you're going to have a lot more personalization, which is a great news because in 10 years from now, I think very few of us will be taking non-personalized drugs.
It's fascinating. Sorry, I want to, if I could just circle back on that. And what I was going to ask you about the time frame. You're saying in 10 years, you think that everyone will be having much more personalized drugs?
I think within 10 years it's going to start, and it's going to be something that we really think that 2035 to 2045 is the period of time where medicine will fundamentally shift. This is a very complex shift because you can imagine most pharmaceutical companies are used to making very large batches of things, getting one thing regulatory approved. Even the way they make things, even their quality control systems will have to change. So even after the transition is well underway, but it will take 5 to 10 years for the entire infrastructure to adopt to this transition.
It's fascinating. Bespoke pharmaceuticals for whoever needs them, and I guess made for your genetics. I know another thing that you are also looking at is with regards to location and location accuracy and GPS. Tell us a bit about that in terms of what you're seeing either with your portfolio companies or what you're watching right now.
Yeah, we're looking at a lot of companies in this area. GPS has been a gift that has been given. I mean, none of us can imagine a world today without using Google Maps or Waze or something equivalent. And without that, the economy would probably be significantly hurt. So the question is, if you've ever looked at your Google Maps when you're at an airport waiting for your Uber or Lyft or whatever, you watch that dot move back and forth. The trouble with GPS today is that it is not precise enough in terms of it's not fine enough, and it is not reliable enough. If you're in a city, sometimes it's a 20-meter error, and sometimes it's a 3-meter error.
And can I, sorry, not to interrupt, Manish, but tell me why that matters, because I know for someone like me who's walking around, it's like, it's close enough, but tell me where that precision makes a difference.
Precision makes a difference. So let's just start. If you're waiting for your Uber, I think you're always, many times we've gone to a position where we're not sure exactly which side of the road Uber is going to come on. If you're DoorDash and you want to deliver optimally, the driver going to the wrong house is problematic. If you wanted self-driving cars to be able to stay in a lane more precisely, you need 3 meters is definitely not good enough because that's the size of the lane itself. So you have many, many use cases where this is really important.
And what is the technology that will enable that greater precision?
So one type of technology for this is a new set of satellites, right? So when you launch a whole new set of satellites, you can now get to low Earth orbit. So satellites traditionally for these things have been at middle Earth or high orbit, geosynchronous orbits. If you can come to low Earth orbit, you can now switch to very cheap satellites. Think about what Starlink and SpaceX did for communications in Ukraine. You can do the same thing for GPS. And these are techniques that are now coming online that should allow GPS even down to 1 to 2 to 5 centimeters. And, we can talk about these very meaty applications, but there are also simpler applications like AR and VR on your phone that became enabled in much greater degree of accuracy once you get to GPS at that level.
I could talk to you for hours. I'm not allowed. I have 2 more minutes, Manish. So I'm going to try and ask you, I know a couple other ones were federated learning and planetary health, both important to you. So maybe you could tell me which one you want to talk about.
I'm just going to talk for a minute about federated learning. Planetary health is really crucial, but it's a tough one to do in 1 to 2 minutes. So federated learning, look, we all use browsers. We all I think many of us actually appreciate the targeted ads we get. We don't appreciate the fact that our data is always being taken and sold, and we don't really want to pay for the internet. So we want to find alternative mechanisms. Federated learning is a way which allows all the data to stay in remote locations and never be taken to a central site, yet you're able to do the analysis at a level that allows you to get the benefit of getting some of the ads, for example. So on a browser, you would have privacy protection, but you'd still receive ads. If you're a complex large company, let's just say a Walmart, for example, you could now interact with all of your suppliers in a way that you could do much better and efficient inventory management without necessarily having to get data from all of them. So the pediatric example I gave in the past is another great example. What if Harvard, Stanford, McGill, others could share all their data, but for analysis purposes, but never have to actually share the data itself. So this is a concept called federated learning, or distributed computing plus federated learning. It is a relatively new concept, and it's something we're very excited about because it brings back the concept of privacy back into the game.
Manish, this was my favorite conversation I've had all month, so thank you for your time. I hope we can call on you again. I'd love to learn more about planetary health.
All right. Thanks very much. It was a real pleasure.
Pleasure was all mine. Manish Kothari, he's founder and managing partner at First Spark Ventures, and he joined us from California. Up next, you're thinking of selling the family home to your child at a discount to save them money? We're going to be looking at the pros and cons with Nicole Ewing right after this.